Hey guys, it's part 8 of the podcast and the final part of the podcast. I've only got 15 minutes of podcast time to do this, or of YouTube time to do this, so getting to the point. Um, First off, my voice is not too loud today because of the Skillet show last night. My back and my neck hurt because of the Skillet show last night. But it was all fun. It was all worth it. So, um, just to let you guys know, we went with the youth group, and in part 1 of the podcast, you will see and meet our youth pastor because I went with him. We broke up into 3 groups, and I wanted to go to see if I could get a schedule, and my youth pastor went with me, and I started all the podcasts after Mindbuster. I was going to start before, and my youth pastor told me to go for it because we're going to be a 45-minute waiting period anyways. And I'm only recording 10-minute podcasts. But it was a little bit loud, so I decided not to wait until after Mindbuster. I was also going to before we went into the park, but a couple people don't like me recording stuff. So get moving on. Uh, Obviously, we all had fun at Wonderjam. You gotta have fun at Wonderjam. It's totally awesome. And this was probably one of the best years I've ever had. Sorry, KJ, if you see this. It's one of the best years I've ever had. Mainly because TFK, I'm a fan of TFK, and I'm a huge fan of Skillet. But I'll always be a huge fan of you, KJ. Um, I doubt you'll see this. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. If you do, okay. But moving on, uh, halfway through parts 1 through 3 of the podcast, through my entire podcast, parts 1 to 3, you will see my hair is flat. I had no time I gelled it, and it looked horrible. I woke up late yesterday morning. Oh, and to let you guys know, I'm doing this the day after. This is the Wednesday. This is part of the all day Wonderjam podcast, and I'm doing it Sunday morning instead of Saturday night. And I will explain to you why in just a few minutes. But anyways, going on parts 1 to 3 of the podcast. My hair was flat because I woke up late. I just told you guys that, and it looks horrible. So I decided before TFK came out, I decided to gel it. Poured water on my head just outside the bathroom. Went inside, started gelling it because I had some time to gel it. And it looks somewhat like this. I was trying to gel it quickly as possible because TFK was next, and so I should have done it while Anthem Lights and then were up, but I was with a friend. Um, so anyway, next, moving on. In part 2 or 3 of the podcast, I'm going back. I think it was in part 2 of the podcast. I was going back, and I noticed a guy up the hill, and a guy going up the hill. So I went up the hill, and because we heard some music, band practice or something, or band tuning. So I was curious. I wanted to see what was going on, and I zoomed in as far as I could. A little about 15 seconds, 20 seconds later, or 10, 15, 20 seconds later, one of the security personnel for the event was coming our way, telling us to get off the grass, go back down the hill. I complied, or I don't know if that's the right word, but I did what I was told, and I forgot to zoom out. And you catch this part of my face. Now, yes, I will admit, at that time, this part of my face is having bad acne problems. And it doesn't help the fact that that morning I shaved, that yesterday morning I shaved, and I cut myself. So it looks like I have a bad, ugly looking side of my face. So ignore that, please. Moving on to the next part. I got a brand new t-shirt, and I'll show you in a second. First, a story. Family Force 5 was up. They were near the end of their part of Wonderjam. The speaker would be up next. My dad pulled me aside. We went to the Skillet booth, and he bought me a brand new t-shirt. He bought me a new t-shirt so I could put it on. I wore a purple t-shirt, but then I wore this t-shirt. You won't see it in the podcast. You'll only see it in this part of the podcast. But that's it. He bought me this brand new t-shirt. Skillet Awake and Alive, Summer Tour 2011, but I call it 2011. On the back of the t-shirt, I'm not going to take my t-shirt off, just going to reverse it, is this. If you did not go to the show, Skillet, up here, all these concert dates. All those little words are actually concert dates. They're all so they're all concert dates. And obviously on the bottom here is there's the Summer Tour 2011 again. So I'm not going to take my t-shirt off. I'm just going to do this. It's better that way, anyways. Moving on. Going back for a second and let you to why I'm doing this podcast today instead of why not did I do it yesterday. Halfway through the Skillet concert, through the Skillet show, my cell phone died. Well, almost. My cell phone has three bars of power. They can last quite a little while. But once those 3 bars are gone, the light dims. If you're recording, I was recording at the time. The light dimmed. What I was recording quit on me. It went to the main menu. Pretty much this, the default menu, and I wasn't too happy about that. But and I only got to record half the concert, and I was starting to record those nights. But half the concert's better than nothing. You will not see those nights in the podcast. So I'll tell you where you can see that. I'll tell you this. That clip will be one of the 3 bonus clips. So sorry about the shortage, but it's just life. I'd like to thank you for watching this entire Saturday this all day Saturday Wonderjam podcast. And a special thank you if you have watched it from part 1 to part 8 to this part. And shout out to everybody that was at Wonderjam. I don't know who, I can't say every name because I don't know everybody. I didn't even see your face. But shout out to everybody who went to Wonderjam. Um, Before I end this part 2 of the podcast, you will also see a white tent. I didn't know what that tent was for. I found out later on, Skillet wasn't at their booth. Skillet was in the tent, and there was a lineup there, and I didn't know what that lineup was for until I just found out today. And I wasn't too happy about that, because I made them a picture, and I wanted to give it directly to them, and I wanted to get a couple pictures done, but I couldn't do that. So if I did have enough to record the entire concert plus the after concert to say goodbyes and all that stuff, I would have done that. But there would be no Skillet in that part of the podcast. To finish this off, like I was saying, if you watched this entire podcast from part 1 to this up to now, I thank you for watching this podcast. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. And you know what? Subscribe anyways. You'll get more of what you've seen right here. Alright, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and watch out for the Monday podcast whenever I do that. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.